Can I hold all these up all at the same time and make a contact with all of them? Probably not. But we're going to figure out which one, if any of them, is far better than the others this time on K6UDA radio. Guys, if you're a digital Pi user or you're into DMR, DSTAR, or Fusion, this little box here just may change the way you operate. This little guy is called the Open Spot by Shark RF. It's a European company, brand new product. What I really like about this thing is the fact that it is so simple to hook up. You plug in an Ethernet cable here, a USB for power and or programming. Basically comes pre-programmed. You program it from a web address locally. You can either do it on your cell phone or you can do it on the computer. Doesn't matter. The thing boots up so fast, so much faster than a Raspberry Pi based DV Mega or Arduino computer. The support for this thing is incredible. Literally, you get on their community website and their forums, and you go into the bug reports or troubleshooting forum and put something in there, and literally within a day or two, they've got a new revision. I mean, I have never seen anything that cool. I'll have a full review of the thing, but so far, awesome. This thing is a way thumbs up. Okay, and speaking of way thumbs up again to Kenwood. Let's see, this thing has been out now for what, about 3 weeks? And there's already been now 3 new firmware revisions taking care of a whole bunch of issues that the radios had or that people have seen with it. They're implementing many new features, and I love that about these new radios is, you know, you could just update these things at will. This is Ask Bob Anything. Fire Guy 1322 asks, congrats on 4K and counting. Ask Bob Anything. Okay, why do the deer in my backyard know when hunting season starts and ends? Simple. No, it isn't simple. It isn't simple. It's very complex. They're smarter than you are. Brad Wayne writes, specific situation that stumped me was, I was on the East Coast last week. My radio was set up for the Bay Area DSTAR repeater through which I have made local Bay Area contacts. I was not successful in reprogramming my radio to connect with the DSTAR repeater in Maryland so that I could make a contact back in the SF Bay Area. So the answer to your question, I believe, is connecting to a repeater. Okay, different repeaters have different rules. They're owned by somebody, and those guys can dictate who can link, who can unlink, how you can link, if you can link and unlink. And also, if you're trying to route to somebody who's using a hotspot, it does not route. Call sign routing does not work with hotspots. Routing only works on an ICOM repeater that's registered with the trust. Woj Tech DX writes, thanks for another excellent video, Bob. Your surname suggests that you have Polish ancestry. Is that correct? 73 is from Poland. No, that is not correct. SKI is Polish. SKY is Russian. But then again, I'm an American. 73's from USA. Ben Herrera writes, good video, Bob, as usual. I know. Have you thought about doing a challenge coin? Seeing you have some on your shelf. You know, I would love to do a challenge coin. I just don't think I can afford it. I think I've lost my ass on these t-shirts. That's it for Ask Bob Anything. I forgot one. Chad Steiner writes, I got a question for you. How does a guy like me, with a wife and 5 kids, save up the money to get some of the cool gear you have? The wife won't let me become a prostitute, so using my good looks is out. Chad, you should have married rich. Well, I guess we're at that point of the show that most of you guys actually came to watch. This is probably not the best year to do a magnetic loop shootout that requires QRP power. But we're doing it anyway. What, do you want to wait for 5 years before I come do this? Hell no. We're going to talk about the designs, the weight of them, the physical size, the price, options that you can get with them, ease of setup, ease of use, tuning, performance, and that all-important reverse beacon network test. See how far they get out, see where they see. So I guess let's just get into it. I've been fortunate enough to be able to play with 3 of probably the best loops on the market here, or at least the most recognizable. The Alex loop, the Chameleon, and the Alpha loop. So this time we're actually going to start off with the Alex loop. The Alex loop is by far the simplest, smallest, and most minimal of the 3 loops that I've tested. The radiator loop and the feed line are a single integrated piece of RG58 with a BNC connector attached. The main construction is a lightweight PVC pipe that fits together much like any plumbing application. There's no provision for a tripod mount with this thing. You're going to have to improvise your own. It has the least amount of moving parts and is by far the lightest constructed loop I tested. Alpha antennas, on the other hand, makes use of a much heavier constructed main box and parts list. They use an integral tripod mount, which is really nice, and a telescoping selfie stick. Most of the parts on this antenna are probably easily sourced out from other areas. The loop is a heavy-duty LMR type loop and radiator. The overall design is clean and appears really highly configurable. Chameleon was the only one that makes use of a solid radiator, a balun, built-in balun, and a large tuning box. The design and the construction were the heaviest duty and more finished off product that I reviewed. Start out with the heavyweight. This guy, packed up in the box or in the bag, is 7 pounds. That's huge. Big weight for a small little loop. Next up, 5.5 pounds packed up in the military bag. And what I don't like about Alpha's website is they break down their weight and it comes out to about 3.5 pounds, and that's probably with the little black bag. But it's deceptive. And come on, guys, you know what? Let's just lay it out there. Let's not hide the numbers and make things look smaller or lighter than they are. In the military bag with the tripod in there, this thing is 5.5 pounds. And then we get to the Alex loop. This is by far the smallest of all three by a lot. It's also the lightest. This thing in the bag weighs 3.3 pounds. I mean, really, that's 4 pounds lighter than the Chameleon, 2 pounds lighter than the Alpha. And if you're backpacking, 2 pounds is huge. 2 pounds is half your backpack. I don't know. That means more food to eat. The heavyweight on price is also the lightest of the bunch. This thing is $400 from HRO, $400 on Alex's website. Doesn't matter, no discounts, no nothing. It is by far the most expensive. Next up is the Chameleon Pilote. This thing, the price is $335 plus $30 shipping. Does not come with a tripod. You can pick up your own tripod and put it up like that. Alpha comes as the most configurable packages that you can find, I think. The price with the bag, your choice of the military bag or the black bag, and this bitchin' little tripod is $323. So 10 bucks less than the Chameleon. If you want it without the bag and without the tripod, this thing is $250. You can add your own tripod to it if you want, or your own handle. Alpha sent over a kit to reverse this. I had talked earlier when I was reviewing the Chameleon about having the adjustment on the bottom as opposed to on the top here, so you can actually flip this thing around and basically use this as a bottom-ended adjustment. Alpha also sent me over their 80-meter loop adjustment. So in addition to 40 through 10, this thing will do 80 meters, and it'll do it right now. I believe Chameleon is working on an 80-meter version, and Alpha, to my knowledge, is not doing anything on 80 meters. But then again, if you're on QRP, 80 meters is not getting you out very far. When it comes to the performance of all these loops, they were all pretty comparable. To tune any one of these loops, the first thing you're going to do is turn off the internal tuner on your radio, because you don't want that in line with one of these. This is what tunes it, not the radio. Using your tuner only fools the radio into thinking that it's happy. So with the tuner taken out of the equation, you're going to listen to the radio, and it's going to be very quiet, and you're going to turn the knob until you hear the sound come up. And then when you get to the maximum sound, then you got to fine tune it. You got to tune it for your transmit, and that's going to be minute, very, very minute. I put my KX3 into the tune mode with the tuner taken out. So now it's just producing a carrier at about 2 watts. And I start moving the knob, and I'm watching the KX3, I'm watching the display, and watching the SWR rise and fall. When the SWR gets as low as it can go, you're tuned, and now you're ready to operate. The results of my test on 40 meters yesterday were that tuned to a perfect match on 40 meters. Everything was done on the same frequency, 7.020 in CW. That was a perfect match, 1.0 to 1. Perfect match. The Chameleon tuned to a 1.1 to 1, which is damn near a perfect match. Unfortunately, this guy, the Alpha, on 40 meters, I could only get it to 1.7 to 1. Now, I don't know if it was my feed line or what, but it just wouldn't go any lower than that. And I tried it several different ways. As for the RBN results, okay, this first one is a control test with my hex beam. The Alex loop on 20 meters got 3 hits. I got 1 return from the Chameleon antenna on 20 meters. And again, 1 hit on 20 meters with the Alpha loop. The 40 meter returns are pretty comparable also. Which one's the best? Which one should you buy? Hell, I don't know you. I don't know what your needs are. But my opinion, if you're a backpacker or you're really super space and weight conscious about how you're packing your portable antenna, the Alex loop is the way to go. Performance wise, it's a no compromise. It's no frills. The box isn't nearly as sturdy as, say, the Chameleon or the Alpha, but you're paying for lighter weight. And in my opinion, it tuned down better than the other two. So for performance, for theoretical performance, this one took it. If you want the most bang for your buck, the Alpha is probably going to be the one. Now, I'm sure Alpha is going to tell me that I did something wrong, and I probably did, and couldn't get this thing to tune down on 40 meters. But on 20 meters, thing was a stud. It tuned right down. All 3 antennas got about the same results, varying by different stations on RBN, but about the same amount of hits on RBN. It wasn't like one of them performed like my hex beam or my wire. The Chameleon was my most enjoyable antenna to operate from. It was the fit and finish of this thing are second to none. I mean, I really enjoyed this. The tuning, if I'm going local, if I'm going somewhere field day, or I'm taking a trip in the motorhome, I'm probably going to take this Chameleon with me. But I am going to take this Alpha Antennas tripod to put on my Chameleon. So whatever you buy, I would really suggest calling Alpha Antenna and buying this. But this was my most enjoyable to tune. Whatever your criteria is for buying an antenna, whether you want the most bang for the buck, the best fit and finish, or the lightest and most compact, you make your choice. I've made mine, and I mean, really, if all 3 of these guys got together and designed an antenna system, I think it would be fantastic, because all 3 of these bring to the table some really good qualities, and then all 3 of them bring stuff that I'm not real wild about. I think the way that the top of the Alex loop fits together is cheesy. I'm not a fan of that. I never have been. The Alpha on 40 meters, unfortunately, I can't get it down. I couldn't get it past 1.7 to 1. And this thing is a behemoth. So I don't know. I'm happy with them all. I'm not happy with them all. They all can have improvement. But let's see. This is a must for me. I would buy that by itself. This one, the most enjoyable for me. This one is, oops. This one is going with me on my dive trips. Guys, remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. We're hitting the big countdown now. Less than 800 subs to go, and somebody is walking away with the KX2. I'm gonna give this thing away. I'm gonna give it away before Christmas. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, share it everywhere you can. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, I don't know, wherever you guys hang out. Share it at your ham radio clubs. Get more guys to hit that subscribe button. All right, guys, that's all I've got this week. Been fun. I learned a lot. I hope you learned a little. I've got nothing else. I'm Bob, K6UDA, and I'm out of here.
Remote system linked.